shit. This was much higher than I expected it to be. Holy shit. You have to be agile to be here. Hey boys. It is late for me. And I've been driving all day. I am so exhausted. But we've seen a lot of good things today, to be fair. It's been a really good day. It's just also been a really long day. Yeah, we had some car issues, which not the greatest. So we went to this huge beach that is here in Jutland on an island. Oh shit! It was really really nice. It's called Rømø. I don't know if there's an English name for it. No, I don't think there's. It's really nice. And it has this huge beach. Like we drove the car like all the way down to the water, and it took us a couple of minutes to get from the start of the beach to the water. It's really, really big. And when we looked from side to side, we couldn't see the ending. So big. So that was really nice. So we drove the car like not as close to the water as we could get, but like as close as I felt was safe and comfortable. And then we walked around a little bit. It was really cold, so we didn't stay too long. But then when we got back to the car and we started driving, it was stuck, so we couldn't get it out of the sand. And it's an electric car, so it prevents you from rolling the wheels and just digging yourself into the sand, which is kind of nice, I guess. But it also it just cuts off as soon as it starts spinning. So so it was kind of hard to get out. So it ended up with we had to push the car out, and if you've tried to push an electric car, it's a little bit harder. We didn't put it in neutral because we tried to drive it, but I think putting it in neutral would have been a better idea. But we ended up being like a lot of people came and helped, luckily, otherwise we would have been fucked. I think we ended up being 6 or 8 people pushing the car, and we pushed it for a couple of minutes until the car could get traction and drive off. It was really fucking exhausting, and it was like almost the first thing in the morning. But to be fair, it was also a fun experience, and we got through it. We survived. No one got hurt, and it wasn't that big of a deal because there was a lot of really good people, really nice people who helped us. Yeah, it was really nice. They just came over like, oh, you need help, and then they just started pushing, and then more people came over and started pushing and so on, and it was fantastic. It was really nice. And then we went to see some of the bunkers from World War II. That was less impressive than hoped. Like it was mostly just covered in dirt and sand. Wasn't really anything to write back home about. It was still fine to see them. It was fun. I haven't seen bunkers from World War II in real life before, so it was nice. And then we got some amazing food and some really good ice cream, like homemade ice cream. It was delicious. Big fan of that. And then we went to try to see this, like a viewpoint in Rømø where you were supposed to be able to see everything, and we just couldn't get to it. Like we couldn't find any road to it that didn't require us walking for 1 or 2 kilometers. And since my mom got hit by a car like 1 or 2 weeks ago, and she's part of the trip, we just don't want to walk that much. Well, she can't walk that much. We don't want to walk that much, so we are trying to keep it to a minimum. So we just skip that. Yeah, unfortunately, it's probably not that great, but it was quite. Yeah, maybe we'll see it next time. And then we went to Denmark's most westerly point, which was really, really fucking nice. That had an amazing view, like just beach as far as your eye could see. It was amazing, and there's some really, really nice, like very sandy, huge beaches over here in Jutland. Yeah, huge fan. But then at some point the car just stopped driving, like it just shut off and stopped. I'm like, one of the sensors is blocked. You cannot use the car anymore. I'm like, dude, what? Like, you cannot just turn the car off and just stop it because one of your sensors isn't working. Like, that's fucking crazy. Give me a warning ahead of time so I can get into a emergency lane or something. But I was like, nope, this is where we stop. Fuck you. Like, what? Like, is that really the futures of cars? That's a bit concerning. So I had to go out and I checked the sensors and like, did any sand get on it or anything? There was fucking nothing. And then when I got in the car and I started, I was like, okay, let's go. Like, did you just shut off the car for no real reason? Like I get annoyed when my computer does that on my phone, but when a car does it, that's downright fucking dangerous. Like, that's like, luckily we were still on the beach at that time and we were going like 30 kilometers an hour with like no cars anywhere near us. But if that would have been a highway or something, that would have been a terrible fucking accident. Like, that's some scary shit, to be honest. That really makes me question like those kind of cars and their safety. Yeah, I don't think that was the right way to handle it. And then, so we had 3 problems with the car today. First, it got stuck in the sand and we couldn't get it. Like, we had to push it out. Then it just suddenly fucking shut off because of that sensor thing. And then the third one was that on the way here, like 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago or something, while driving, like at night, everything is dark, and not that that's that big of it, not that it's that important, but then it just restart. Like the tablet shut down, the display shut down, like everything just went completely black in the car. But we're still driving, and I can still maneuver and so on. But it's like, yeah, we're just restarting the car now, even though you're driving along. Like, what the fuck? Like, that makes me so fucking uncomfortable that I don't know what this car is doing, and it just stops driving all of a sudden and shuts down, or just starts restarting. And I don't know what systems is restarting, or if it's just gonna be like, yeah, everything in the car is being restarted. I don't know. Like, after this trip, I'm not a big fan of Polestar. I definitely wouldn't recommend anybody buying that. It seems like insane, and I don't know if all newer cars have these problems. Of course, I haven't experienced, like, I haven't tested that many cars, but yeah, I don't think I will ever get a Polestar. It just seems like such a fucking crazy problem. And then the plan was actually to just come straight here and just sleep, and then the car would be on low battery, like 16%. But that was enough, in my estimation, to go to the nearest charging station and then start our day by charging the car. But after that reset, and then it showed we would only have 7% left, and like, because of all that weirdness and so on, I'm like, I don't want to take that risk, man. I don't want to end up in a position where we might be without battery tomorrow, like completely out of power. Like, that's not going to be a great day. So we went to charge it now before we got here, and to be fair, they charge really fucking fast. Like, we went inside a grocery store and we just bought like shampoo, and then we came out. Like, we went to the toilet and bought shampoo, and then we came out. Just I have no idea how long we actually were in there. My estimate would be definitely less than 20 minutes. And we came out, and it had charged from 16 to 84%. And I was like, okay. Like, I had always been worried with electric cars about the charging time, like how annoying that would be and having to wait for it and so on. But after this, I don't really, it doesn't feel that annoying. It doesn't seem like that big of an issue. I'm starting to look at this bit and I'm starting to get anxious because, like, you can, yes, I don't know if you can see how far down it actually is. But I know it's not like I'm gonna die from falling here, but I'm like a meter up or something, and I'm like, there's nothing preventing me from rolling out or anything, and then it's just a drop down, and I probably won't fall out, but what if I do? Well, then my wife is gonna wake up screaming or something like that. She's gonna be more scared than I am. I will just be unconscious down there. She's probably gonna have flashback from when I passed out, which is such a stupid fucking story. It's not that important what I was fixing, but I was fixing like one of the like an oil container, like a glass oil container, and then you have some metal thing on top with some rubber in between to seal it and so on. And then the metal parts, they had come apart for whatever reason that's possible. And then I was trying to get them together, but they were also kind of sharp. And then I was trying to force them together, and then it slipped, and then I cut my finger. And then it started bleeding, obviously. And I was like, huh, that's annoying. Then I continued doing it a little bit, and then I think I went to my wife, and I went to my wife, and she was in her room, and then I asked her like, "Why do we have band-aids? Because I'm bleeding." And she, "What happened? What happened? Oh my god, what happened?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, I cut my finger." And like, "Oh, you're bleeding, no!" Oh. And then, "Oh, hospital, you need this, and then you need this. And do you want this band-aid? Do you want this band-aid? Do you want this one or that one or this one?" Like, I just want a band-aid. Like, I just want to stop bleeding everywhere, and it's really warm in her room, so, and I don't do well in warm areas, so I just started feeling bad, and I was like, I just want a band-aid, please, like, just give me a band-aid, and then I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel really, really bad, but just put the band-aid on. And I was thinking these things, but I wasn't saying it out loud. Then she finally put the band-aid on me. I'm like, okay. And then I was like, okay, now I'm starting to feel really, really bad. And I'm starting to lose my sight a little bit. And then, like, this is weird. Like, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to sit in the living room. So I turn around, and I was like, and then I started losing my balance. And I was like, okay, I'm going to reach out for the wall. And then I don't remember anymore. Then the next thing I remember is just me waking up on the floor in my wife's lap, and she's just crying her eyes out, like, like really just going fucking hard, right? And I'm like, oh, there, honey, like, calm down, everything is okay. There, what happened? Why did you pass out? There, honey, everything is fine. It'll be okay. And then after 20 minutes of that, of her just crying her eyes out as hard as I've ever seen, and me, I stayed on the floor. I didn't feel great. Then I was like, okay, she needs something to focus on. Like, she needs to get her mind taken off what just happened. So I'm like, okay, honey, can you please bring me like a piece of juice and like a glass of juice and something to eat, please? And like, yeah, I will go make it. Just stay down. And like, yeah, it's fine. I'll stay here. And then she went and made that and calmed down, because now she could take her mind off that and just think of other things. And then she came in and gave me those things, and I drank and ate, and then I went to the living room, I think, and just cooled down and calmed down. And then like I calmed her still and hugged her and so on. And yeah, but she had like some serious trauma with that for quite a while. Um, like yeah, she would think of it like weeks after and just have like flashbacks essentially. And it was so stupid because all I did was like get a little cut. It was nothing serious or anything, but it was just a mix. I think between I was already fucking warm, I had a pain reaction, and then I went into a really warm room. Um, and I just wanted, and I was standing, and I just wanted to sit down. Yeah. So ever since then, whenever anything happens, like whenever I get hurt or I cut myself or anything like that, my wife is just like, oh, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit, sit down, sit. And I'm like, okay, now I'll take care of you. And then she will do everything and refuse me to do anything. And to be fair, I can't and I won't be like, oh, I'm okay, don't worry about it. Because historically, like I have a bad history of passing out, I guess. Um, so I usually sit down and just make sure that I'm feeling okay, and then like, okay, let's not overreact. But then on the day that I passed out, then in the evening, like hours later, like I don't know, 6, 8 hours later, I don't know, multiple hours, several hours later, then we are calling her parents. Um, and then my wife wants to tell them what happened. And then she starts telling her dad what happened. And then she just started crying her eyes out again. And then her dad is like, whoa, what the fuck is going on, man? And they're speaking Korean. And I'm not that good at Korean, so I cannot really help out here. Like, I cannot help. And it's just such an absurd situation, right? Because nothing really happened, but I passed out. So like it's such an overreaction. It's so crazy. So I'm just sitting there like kind of laughing because it's so absurd and it's so stupid. And she's having this huge reaction. I completely understand the reaction. I'm not saying that. I'm saying my reaction was ridiculous. Like passing out after cutting a finger, like talk about being a drama queen. But yeah, I cannot help. She's sitting there talking with her dad in Korean, and he's like, and I can see it on his face, like, whoa, what's going on? Like, this is some serious shit. And I'm sitting there laughing, and he's getting so confused because my wife cannot talk because she's crying her eyes out and can't get her words together. And I'm sitting there laughing like she's telling a joke because that's the Danish way of handling like serious things. It's just, it becomes so absurd that we just laugh. Like I'm really the kind of type, like I can either cry or I can laugh, and I would rather laugh, so I do that. 2 seconds. So after like 5 or 10 minutes, and my wife finally gets the entire story out, and he's asking some questions, and he finally understands like what happened. Then of course they're like, ah, what did the hospital say? Like, what test did they do? And so on. And it's like, we didn't go to the hospital. Like, why would we go to the hospital? I cut my finger, bro. Like, it's not that bad. No, but you passed out. It's not normal to pass out after cutting your finger. No, I know, but like the body is weird, right? And it was just an abnormal pain reaction. I don't think the hospital will do anything. And the Danish hospital are usually just like, oh yeah, take some painkiller and go home and rest. Like I can do that without having them tell me to do that. Like, no, but you need to have your blood checked. You need like a full body scan. You need an MRI. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's not gonna happen. that's not the Danish way. Like, and it's so absurd, and it would be so crazy to spend time and resources on that just because I passed out from cutting my finger. Like, yeah. So that was a topic for a couple of days. And no, there was no follow up. I haven't told any doctor anything like that. It was just like the feeling you get, kind of like when you stand up too fast and you're like, whoa, but it just went past whoa to like where you pass out, right? Like it just went from 90% to the 100%, and it's not a crazy feeling, but it was just pushed a little bit too much. And I have very much the same thing, like a lot of times when I have blood samples drawn, and I think it's a mix between the pain and the blood loss. It just makes me woozy, and that's just life, I guess. Yeah. So we are about 23 here, like 2300, and I woke up 20 hours ago. I've been driving all day. I've been walking around all day. I've had a great day. It's just been a very long day. So I will end this stream very, very soon. Um, I think I just want to summarize some of the things we talked about yesterday. I talked about Space Marine 2, and I said it was a very good game. I really liked the world building and the lore and so on. And I really didn't like the combat system. But I want to make the conclusion that I think, I don't remember if I said it, but I think Space Marine 2 is worth every penny. And I don't really think you need any of the bigger editions. It doesn't seem like you need to. I did buy the 90 euro edition because I wanted the early access, but that's not relevant anymore. And the DLC you got was like the most useless fucking skin DLC ever, and it's only on like 3 weapons. And I don't want to use those 3 weapons anyway. And I'm not a fan of Ultramarines anyway, which was the skins. And like instead of having a blue armor with gold trimmings, then you have a little bit more gold or something. It just looks slightly more swag. Definitely not something I would spend the money on. But even knowing today that I don't like the combat, I will still buy the game again without hesitation. That would not stop me at all. And if they make a DLC or an expansion, whatever they're gonna call it, I will buy it happily and I will play it happily. And I really hope they do. And maybe spoiler alert. So if you haven't played or you're very sensitive to spoilers, skip a couple of minutes. I really hope the DLC involves Necrons. I was now major spoiler alert. I was really fucking disappointed that the game didn't involve Necrons after seeing it was a tomb world, and there was obviously a lot of Necron shit down there. So I really expected the Necrons to awaken and just fuck up the tomb world. So disappointed that didn't happen. Like my wish is just to play like that they make the Necron DLC, but then make the Necrons playable and then just destroy the entire planet. Because I used to collect Necrons, and yeah, that's like I like the old Necron lore, not the new bullshit. Like the old one where they were this mysterious, faceless, kind of faceless, soulless, like a highest technology force in the universe, when with nobody who could stand up against them, essentially. I think that was really cool. The new one is, I hate the new lore. maybe hate is a strong word. I strongly dislike the new law. I think they've given them two weird, quirky personalities, and the infighting and the squabbles and the teenage fights and so on. They just seem like a clown race now, and they're not like super high tech, unstoppable force they were. Now they're just like these goofballs hiding underneath sand. Like maybe I need to read more up on the law, but it's just so disappointing to me. I haven't really gotten too far into it. But let's talk Core Keeper a little bit again, because I think I got distracted yesterday. Core Keeper, amazing game. I would highly recommend to buy it. I've had a lot of fun, and I have a lot of things I still need to do, and I'm enjoying doing all of the things. And for me, it is one of those games where it's like, oh, I just need to do this one more thing. Oh, and you find another like, just that one more thing, just that one more thing, and then like 19 hours later, and you're like, whoa, like what happened? Where you just get consumed by the game and nothing else exists, and you just keep wanting to do just one more thing. And I think that's very powerful game design, and I love that game design. And I think being absorbed in a game like that just shows how much you're enjoying the game and how good it is. Whereas if it's a chore and you're like, oh, I need to do this, and like, okay, can I stop now? Yeah, I'm just gonna like. I don't like that kind of game. Like that reminds me of World of Warcraft, the daily quests. To be fair, and it reminds me of I need to do things in Clash Royale, and I don't think it's funny. Like what I need to do is not fun, but the reward is really good, so I'm gonna do it. What is it? I need to earn 55 crowns, so I get this fucking bullshit. I just need 3 more crowns, and then I think I can evolve him, and like I just need one more, then I have enough to evolve him. And the thing is, I don't want to evolve him. I don't want to use him. I don't have any decks that use him, and I don't think he's that good of a card. But what if he does become good? And what if I at some point want to evolve him and I didn't have that piece? That would be annoying. So it's not even like I want to use him. It's like it's only because I have FOMO. Like I have fear of missing out in case I want to use him. And I've spent a couple of days doing this, getting those 55 crowns, and it's fucking terrible. I hate it. But Core Keeper is not like that. And I really like that about Core Keeper. Core Keeper keeps pulling me back and keeps wanting me to do more things, and is onboarding me slowly but in a very good pace to new things, and is giving me enough time to be at certain technology stages that you kind of get comfortable with it, and then you can move on to the next one relatively fast if you feel like it, but you can also stay on the one you have for a long period of time and explore everything and do everything if that's what you want. And I really like that the game is not setting the pace for you. The game is allowing you to choose your own pace and do what you think is fun and how you enjoy it. I think Core Keeper is amazing. I think almost everybody would enjoy playing Core Keeper. I think if you go into Core Keeper with the right expectations, you're gonna have or with no expectations, you're gonna have a great time. Like if you only enjoy like Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, or like any one specific game like that, and you don't have like the broader interest of more mechanics or things, then you might have a bad time in Core Keeper. It might also open something new for you. Who knows? I think it's only is it 16 euro or something like that. It's definitely a good deal on Steam. I can see it's $20, so 20 euro as well. And And honestly, like, I don't know, I think I'm on my hour, somewhere between hour 30 to hour 40, and I've enjoyed every single hour. Like, and I know I have at least 10 hours left in the game. And yeah, I'm not convinced we should measure our games based on how much time you spend in them. I think we should measure them on how much you've enjoyed them. And definitely enjoyed Core Keeper more than $20. Like, it has brought me more than $20 of enjoyment and happiness. And let me see. I'm gonna share screen, so it's gonna be infinite. If we look at the Steam charts, Jesus, like, it has like 24 hours and 20,000 people playing, right? And okay, so this was the release, I think, and this was the open, like, early access or beta or whatever. So they actually held quite a low player number back here. I thought it would be more stable. Kind of surprised they made such a big push. But Steam really, really pushes games going from early access to release. So if you ever make a game, you are a fucking idiot if you don't do early access first on Steam. If you just go full release, unless you're a triple A or something really, really big, you need to fucking do early access. Because what happens with Steam and early access is that first it will announce to players it's early access and you can grow and get some money, right? But then when you push the release button, then now Steam pushes you much harder because you've been early access and people have had a chance to wishlist you and so on. But what's the important thing is that Steam pushes you and pushes you to players, and it does it in just that's probably some numbers, and I'm too tired to really speak too much sense at this point. Um, but you do early access, Steam pushes you a lot, and then you also do a 20% discount. Because when you do 20% discount or more, then Steam pushes you even further, and it sends out emails to everybody who wishlist your game. So that way you just have this enormous effect, and then hopefully a lot of people buy it. And then the more people who buy it, the more Steam pushes you, and then it's a self-reinforcing effect, right? Because Steam wants to sell products because they earn money every time anything is sold. They don't care what's being sold; they just want things to be sold. YouTube algorithm, it just wants people to watch. It doesn't really care what you watch, as long as you watch. And it's like the Facebook algorithm, who just wants engagement. Who cares what kind of engagement? They don't care if it's good or bad, as long as you engage. That's their metric. And Steam just wants to sell. So the more you sell, the more you're pushed. When you go from early access to release, you're pushed. When you do a 20% discount, you're pushed. So all of this trifecta at the same time can just, like, launch a game to such a degree that you couldn't have if you didn't do all of these things. So if you are an indie developer or a smaller studio or whatever, you need to fucking do early access. Not only do you get super valuable insight from your players, and you have a softer launch and you can fix a lot of things and people are more understanding, but just the potential extra sales you get are just fucking stupid. Like, it's so good. You need to fucking do it, guys. Don't be an idiot. I think with that, I'm gonna stop it from here. I'm simply too fucking tired. I will be on again tomorrow, of course. Why wouldn't I? Anything else would be stupid, right? So, thank you for tuning in, guys. Thank you for listening to me ramble, my incoherent, tired ramblings for for this time. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care. Have a wonderful evening or day or wherever, depending on where you are and when you watch this. Take care, guys. Bye.